Actually, I've been doing this going on 40 years.
Wow.
Oh,
Did you do any of the other ones that Dr. Bakari has on the website?
I did a couple of them, the instructional ones I've done. Okay. Here we go. So, can you tell me, Raymond, when did you first think you had a problem and what were the symptoms for that?
I was short of breath.
They never get to hear my voice. So you can say, if you can for me, put my question within your answer. I first started feeling symptoms.
Oh, I first started feeling symptoms of shortness of breath, impossible to really, well, what can I say? Other than being short of breath and feeling faint, I just didn't know what was wrong with me until I had a doctor to take a look at it.
And who did you go to first to find out why you were having a problem?
I happened to be here in California at the time, and I came to Dr. Bakari. And he was the one that found my heart was bad, and that I had a very,
You're good, you're good. So when you came to Dr. Bakari, you decided to come to Dr. Bakari. What was the step when you came here? What did he help you find?
well, first of all, he checked me out, and he had a heart, he used a meter for my heart to find out that there was one valve that was not working properly, and that was the problem. It was causing me to have shortness of breath, and I was unable to compensate for it. So I went under his care, and we got things straightened out.
What was the procedure that you went through to help correct your problem?
It was you went up through the vein in my leg, up into my heart, and I found out the valve was bad, and he went in and removed that valve and put in a fresh new one, and made all the difference in the world. My heart, my feelings, everything was great. He was wonderful.
What were your concerns? Obviously, being told that you've got a damaged valve, what were your biggest concerns and or fears?
Well,
And if you can, my biggest fears were?
my biggest fear was that I was going to die. I was not going to live if it was going to cause problems for me for the rest of my life, whatever was left for me. And with that procedure that he had, he did the best for me.
And can you kind of describe for me, if you can, Raymond, what was the procedure like? I mean, were you in the hospital for weeks, days? What was the procedure like?
I went into the hospital one day. The next day he did the procedure. I was in the hospital for 2 days after the procedure, and then I was released and went home.
Daddy, you went into the hospital and he did it that day, right? I mean, within hours.
Was it that day? I thought it was
Yes.
the next day, Sherry.
And you went into your room, and you spent that night and the next night, and the following day you were discharged. So
Okay.
you were only in for 2
I
days.
appreciate it. So again, can you kind of walk me through? You came to the hospital to have this surgery. How long were you here, and how quickly did he operate on you, and how long were you here?
Well, he was working on me, and yeah, I was out, completely out. I didn't know what was going on. I don't know how long I was out either, because he stopped my heart and did the work on it, and then he restarted it, and I was back.
Okay. So you came to the hospital one day, and
Yeah.
that same day he treated you,
Yes,
and then you were in the hospital a couple days.
a couple of days.
Can you explain that to me one more time so I have that? So how long did it take for him to start working, doing the procedure, and how long were you in the hospital?
Oh, I'm not sure, because he medicated me to the point where I didn't know anything. I was out completely.
Let me tell you one more time. What he's looking for is, you went to the hospital, they took you in, you know, you go through admitting, of
The
course.
procedure.
They took you in, prepped you, Dr. Bakari came in, talked to you, and you went straight into surgery. And you were only in surgery a couple, 3 hours, maybe not even that. And
But I
And
was completely out. I didn't know what was going on.
right, and then but you do know that that's what it is, and that's what he's looking for. Asking you, you went to the hospital.
What I may have to do, I'll interview you afterwards, and you can kind of clarify.
Okay.
So, how did you feel, Raymond, once you woke up and were in the hospital? Did you feel different?
Oh,
Feel-
much
So
different.
you can,
Much
if you can, after the procedure.
After
right?
the procedure, I was breathing normal. I had no problem whatsoever. I felt wonderful after the procedure, and I really was ready to go right then. But I had to stay in bed there for another day until everything was straightened out. Then I was released.
So, 1 or 2 days after the procedure, you were back ready to go.
Ready to go.
So
right?
you can say that, if you can say 2 days after the procedure, I was ready to go.
2 days after the procedure, I was primed and ready to go. So.
Was there any pain afterwards, or is it just, it was easy, painless?
It was, I didn't feel pain at all afterwards. I was just back to normal, and I felt great.
And how do you feel now? It's been a little while after the procedure. Do you still feel great?
I feel great. I get short of breath if I walk too fast and too far. I use a cane for support because I have a bad knee. But other than that, I don't need. So I feel wonderful.
And what's your opinion, knowing you were really hard of breath, now you're not, what's your opinion of Dr. Bakari in this procedure? What do you think about this?
Well, my feelings towards Dr. Bakari are, I can't explain it. He's a wonderful man. He does a wonderful work, and he does very good care of his patients. I'm proud to be a patient of Dr. Bakari.
And do you think that Dr. Bakari in this procedure not only saved your life, but extended your life?
He has done more than extend my life and save my life. He has made me a new man, you might say. When anybody asks me how old I am, they're surprised when I tell them that I'm 102 years of age, and I feel wonderful. Many people look at me and say, you're 72, 75. They do not understand the fact that I'm 102 years of age.
And what would you tell someone my age or older, if they were having symptoms of hard to breathe or out of breath? What would be your recommendation to them?
When anybody approaches me with shortness of breath and compression of heart, they don't have any, or short and can't catch their breath, if they want to get it fixed, talk to Dr. Bakari.
Well, you've answered those questions. I think that's probably everything, right?
I think so.
Okay, so we'll do you next, okay?
I wasn't anticipating this. You want me in the seat or?
Yeah.